Hello friends, SchoolSteps.in welcomes you again. In this tutorial, we'll discuss about UI patterns for the Android Wear. In the coming tutorials, we'll implement all the UI patterns practically. Though before doing that, it is important for you to get familiar with the terminology. Let's proceed. The first one is the card. Cards in the stream can take slightly different forms. The first image is of standard cards for displaying information from a notification. The second image is of single action controls such as play, pause, toggle. The third image is of expandable stack of cards for grouping a set of related notifications together. Next one is the application icons. The default position of all the application icons is at the top right of the card. For all the notifications that are in the context stream, you can see the icon here in the green color. This is an opportunity for the cards to be recognized as coming from a specific source. Photo background should be used only to convey the information and not to brand a card. Application icons are necessary. Only on the leftmost card, it is not necessary to add the application icon to the pages. Next one is the pages. Supplementary information should be displayed on additional cards to the right of the main context stream card. For example, you can see that image 1 displays the weather information of the current day. Image 1 here is referring to the main context stream card. Image 2 contains the weather information of the subsequent days, which is an additional information. You should make sure that you keep the number of the detail cards as low as possible. Action buttons should always come after the pages. Next one is dismissing cards. Swiping from left to right on a card causes it to be dismissed from the stream. Dismissed cards may return when they next have the relevant information. State is synced between the Android Wear context stream and the notifications on the Android handheld device. So dismissing from one causes the automatic dismissal from the other. Next is the action buttons. Action buttons are required when the user may need to take an action on the information shown in a notification. Action buttons are the system rendered buttons that appear on the right of the detail cards. They consist of a white icon set on a blue system rendered circular button and a short caption with a verb. Next is action countdown and confirmation. Tapping on an action button results in an action being executed. One of the following can happen. Number 1, the action is completed immediately and the result of the action is shown. Number 2, a short countdown animation to completing the action is played, which the user can interrupt to cancel. Once the timer has counted down, a confirmation animation is displayed. Number 3, for the actions that are potentially damaging if accidentally triggered, a confirmation step is required. Number 4, the cue card can be invoked to continue specifying the action. For example, in a messaging application, tapping a reply action button invokes the cue card and prompts for the voice input. Next is continuing activities on the phone. Developers should attempt to perform action on the wearable device wherever possible. In the cases where the phone must be used, a generic animation should be played once the action button has been tapped and the corresponding Android application will open on the phone. Next is action on cards such as media control. Some cards may benefit from having tappable actions directly on a card. This pattern should be used only when one possible action could be reasonably expected. On-card actions should not require a text label to be understood. On-card actions should only result in something happening on the wearable, apart from the web links to open them on the phone. You should only have one action per card. You should not put menus on a single card. Next is card stacks. Card stacks group the related cards together and allow them to be progressively expanded vertically in the stream. You can expand the cards by tapping on +3 more and read the details of a particular card by tapping on it. Next is 2D pickers. A 2D picker component in your application can be invoked from the cue card or from an action button. It allows users to choose from a list of items and optionally select an attribute of each item. For example, for a social check-in application, you could show a 2D picker with a vertical list of places to check into. Next one is voice commands. It is possible for the applications to take action in response to the Android voice commands that invoke intents. For example, an application can register for the take a note intent and capture the subsequent voice input for processing. In the case where multiple applications registered for the same intent, user preference will be captured once and saved. Users can edit their intent preferences in the Android Wear application on their handheld. Next is selection list. Selection list is choosing an item from a list of common interaction. It is used throughout the system UI, including in the list that can be accessed by swiping up on the cue card. Friends, with this we are done with the UI patterns. There may be some terms which are still not clear to you, though as I said in the beginning of this tutorial, we'll implement UI patterns practically in the coming tutorials, so you will be comfortable with each terminology as we progress. Friends, with this I take your leave. Thank you so much. Please like our page on facebook.com/letsandroid. If you have any query, do write us at info@schoolsteps.in or schoolstepsin@gmail.com. Thank you.